All right, since this one has a big nomination under it, I had to give it a listen. Now we have to review it, and now you get to know what I think of it. Chilombo is the third studio album released by Jhené Aiko, and we're going to review that here today on Y.E.S. This is yet another Grammy-nominated album for Album of the Year that I did not listen to, and so I thought to myself, all right, well, if the Academy thinks it's good, well, maybe I should check it out. And after having listened to this album a few times, I see the appeal, but I have a lot of quarrels with it also. What I was able to find is that Jhené wanted to make this album about relationships. But there's also a good chunk of this album that is also freestyle, supposedly. There's like one or two songs where I can kind of feel like, all right, this probably is more on the freestyle line. But beyond that, I'm not really sure how much of this really is. Regardless of the percentages of what is and what isn't, there is a very fine line of things in this album that I like on one side and things that I do not on another. The first half of this album is... wow. I don't like it. Having said that, her instrumentation through most of this album is pretty good. There is a few moments where I feel like it just doesn't feel as inspired. It doesn't feel like it was treated extra special. It kind of just feels like it's kind of going with the mood. And the sound of this album is a mood that I would welcome. It's just the lyricism that I am like deeply disappointed in with this first half. There are 5 songs in here where I'm just like X'd out. I'm like, nope, don't want anything a part of it. This is just the wrong and basically opposite side of what lyricism is supposed to be. You're supposed to add on to the music if you are going to incorporate your voice, your words, your ideas, your lyrics, all of that. Like, there are so many layers into what we say in our music that I feel like artists just are losing their comprehension as to why it makes a difference to the music. Otherwise, why don't we just stick with instrumental music? Why don't we just stick with classical music? Why don't we just stick with jazz music? Not that those genres couldn't have lyrics in them themselves, but they weren't reliant on it. They were reliant on the compositions, on groove, on letting the music hit it right here in your soul. And then when we add the language element, because we are humans, we have a responsibility of what we put into our music. And whether it was intentional or in a freestyle, it's just like vulgar for no reason. We're flirting with nasty, to be honest. And I just don't think it meshes well with the composition that she actually is making. I would really welcome an album like this if it was instrumental or, partial to lyrics. But this first half is just like, what did everybody else see in this? Is it because she's so raw for a sound that sounds so sweet? Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, got that part out. Now, I can talk about the second half. Let's get to it. Now I'm going to highlight some songs, but I'm not going to include clips. I'm just going to tell you which of these songs are worth it and why I think so. Out of the 20 tracks, the first one that I'm like, all right, now we finally have a winner is Born Tired. This one starts getting sincere. This one starts getting into a zone where I'm like, yes, this is where artistry and just where the pure spirit of music can actually sink in. Yes, that sounds cheesy and corny, but it's what allows music to actually breathe. 10K Hours is another great one. And this one really shocked me because Nas is featured in here. Yeah, that Nas. It has a classic New York style to it, which, makes sense for Nas. And I don't have issues with it. I was like, how did you control that so well, being the two of you, and maybe implying kind of what your past histories individually together could create? I didn't expect it to be this tame, per se. The interlude Summer 2000, I actually am on board with this one as well. It's got kind of an Alicia Keys style feel, and it actually almost feels like it's her own rendition of lo-fi music. Morning Doves is alright. I kind of like the idea of the dove call and respond thing that goes on in this song, so you might want to check that one out. And then the last two songs I would recommend are Pray For You and Magic Hour. Okay, so I was able to talk about the music, finally. It almost makes me wonder if she did that on purpose. Like, if you're going to have 20 songs, you're going to make half of the album outrageously risque, and then the other portion is actually just music. Is it like trying to compensate for something? Or it's trying to fool someone into thinking, I can do both things. And then maybe one of those sides is going to get credit for recognition in something. Or together, they're just like two sides of the bad and the good put together, and therefore people should look into it. Any of those ideas I think is stupid, personally. So, after having listened and reviewed this album, I'm going to give production an A-, creativity a D+, expression and lyrics an F. And how would I recommend this album? I'm going to give it an OK. Her arrangements and the fact that the second half of this album is overall not that raunchy saves it. Barely. Barely. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow me in my social media links down in the description below, and be sure to leave a like for the video as well as a comment down below if you want to engage with me. And remember, if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, be sure to subscribe to this channel so you can get that yes in your life. See you next time. Like, seriously, ask yourself, did she need to do that in order to enhance the music? No. No. You don't need to, nor would it actually do that. It doesn't elevate it, it only brings it down. Like, that's not a subjective matter, that's a fact. Okay? Like, just, yeah.